Our immersion into the enigmatic figure of Lilith begins with her deepest roots in Jewish tradition, a territory often explored and contested. More precisely, it is in medieval folklore, encapsulated in texts like the Alphabet of Ben Sira, that we find the first detailed narrative about her. Here, Lilith is presented not as a secondary figure or a later temptation, but as Adam's first wife, forged by the divine hand itself from the same clay as him. This parity in creation is the crucial point of her entire story. Unlike Eve, who would emerge from Adam's rib and would be, by nature, complementary and submissive, Lilith was conceived to be equal. She did not accept the hierarchy Adam tried to impose, demanding a position of absolute equality in all aspects of their shared existence, including intimate relations. Her stance, seen as rebellion, was for Lilith the simple affirmation of her inherent identity and dignity, a reflection of her divine origin identical to Adam's. Faced with Adam's intransigent refusal to recognize her as his equal and her own unwavering conviction, Lilith made a monumental decision. In an act of supreme audacity, she uttered the secret and unpronounceable name of God, an act of power and knowledge that allowed her to transcend earthly laws. With this invocation, and with her wounded dignity, she abandoned Eden. She was not expelled, but left of her own free will, choosing freedom and the unknown instead of unacceptable submission. This was the first act of primordial rebellion that would define her forever. Her choice, however, did not lead her to a new paradise, but rather to the fringes of the forgotten, a realm of shadows where freedom often merges with damnation. Abandoning Eden did not free her from categorization. It merely transfigured her. From this point on, Lilith's story plunges into a darker phase, where she is intensely associated with demonic forces and hidden dangers in Jewish traditions. Far from divine light and established order, Lilith was depicted as a companion to fallen angels, an ally of those who rebelled against the Creator. More disturbingly, she became the primordial figure of lust and seduction, considered the mother of demons and evil spirits, spawning progenies of nightmares that would haunt the world. In the texts of the Talmud and in Kabbalistic traditions, her reputation solidified as a dangerous and nocturnal entity. Lilith was seen as the attacker of pregnant women, the thief of newborns, the cause of sudden illnesses and terrible nightmares. She became the personification of bedside danger, a constant threat to new and vulnerable life. For this reason, ancient Jewish communities developed rituals and created specific amulets, often bearing the names of the three angels sent by God to convince her to return, seeking to protect newborns from her nefarious influence. It was the manifestation of ancestral feminine fear, transmuted into the figure of the woman who dared to be free, and who, for that reason, was demonized. This demonization, however, was not an isolated or purely Jewish invention. To understand the depth and persistence of fear of Lilith, it is crucial to go back in time, long before the formulation of Jewish folklore, to the flourishing civilizations of Sumeria and Babylon. In these ancient cultures, we find the Lilith, figures that strangely echo Lilith's description. They were nocturnal spirits, often feminine, associated with unwholesome winds, plagues, and danger to men during sleep, acting as succubi, and to women and children, stealing vitality or causing illnesses. The existence of these Mesopotamian entities suggests that the figure of Lilith did not emerge from a vacuum in Jewish folklore. On the contrary, her image was inherited, absorbed, and, over the centuries, resignified. The fears and explanations for the inexplicable, nocturnal illnesses, nightmares, infant mortality, found among the ancient peoples of the Middle East were shaped and adapted. The rebellion and autonomy Lilith demanded Eden with these archaic beliefs, creating a figure of feminine power that was both feared and revered, but which, in patriarchal tradition, was relegated to the dark and the demonic. The powerful and independent Lilith became the queen of the night, being feared for her ability to subvert order and challenge divine authority. This same figure, once demonized and relegated to the shadows, today experiences one of the most surprising and significant representations. We jump to the present day, where Lilith emerges from a new perspective, especially through the lens of feminist movements. Far from being exclusively a demon, she is reclaimed and celebrated as a powerful symbol of female independence. The woman who in myth refused to be submissive to Adam and demanded equality becomes the personification of rebellion against oppression. Her story is seen as a primordial manifesto for autonomy, for the courage to break the chains of patriarchal expectations, and for the unwavering pursuit of freedom. Instead of being the malevolent temptress who steals children, now the indomitable force that challenged the established order to protect her own dignity and worth. She symbolizes sexual freedom, the rejection of submission, and the affirmation of the female body and will. Lilith's journey from a feared being to an icon of power is our own evolution in understanding female power and identity. She is the ancestral voice that has always existed, but which only now, in the modern era, is fully heard and understood in her essence of strength and defiance. Her legacy is a vivid reminder that female power cannot be contained, not even by millennia-old narratives forged to control it. This persistence, this ability to transcend imposed labels, is what makes Lilith's story so powerful and resonant. She is a multifaceted mirror, challenging us to question pre-established narratives and to see beyond simplistic dichotomies of good and evil, angel and demon. Lilith is living proof that legends are constantly evolving organisms, capable of being resignified, adapted, and transformed to reflect the truths and needs of each era. From her origin as the first woman to demand equality in Eden, through her demonization as the nocturnal figure haunting human fears, to her modern reinterpretation as a beacon of independence, Lilith embodies the complexity of the female condition and the struggle for autonomy. Her saga is not just a tale of rebellion, but an invitation to reflect on the power of choice and the consequences of challenging the status quo. She reminds us that true strength can be found in the refusal to yield, in the courage to forge one's own path, even if it means exile. The pursuit of equality is timeless, and the power of a woman who refuses to be submissive is without a doubt a force of nature that cannot be ignored. Lilith, the first free woman, continues to echo in our hearts and minds, inspiring new generations to embrace their own strength and challenge the invisible chains that still try to contain them. Her legacy invites us to re-examine not only history, but also the future of female freedom and empowerment. This modern reinterpretation of Lilith, far from being a mere academic rereading, has become a cultural catalyst. She transcends the pages of ancient texts to manifest in various forms of contemporary expression, from art to literature, from activism to depth psychology. Her image is invoked to challenge conventions and inspire the search for an authentic identity, free from historical constraints. It is crucial to understand that in reclaiming Lilith, society does not merely seek to rehabilitate a demon, but rather to find an archetype for today's struggles and aspirations. She symbolizes the silenced voice that demands to be heard, the woman who refuses to be defined by others, whether in her body, her sexuality, or her role in society. What was once seen as sinful rebellion is now celebrated as a fundamental act of self-affirmation and female dignity. The figure of Lilith, therefore, serves as a powerful reminder that narrative is fluid, capable of adapting and transforming over time. She forces us to confront the historical roots of submission and to question the paradigms that still permeate our culture. This modern Lilith is not just an echo of the past. She is a living force, an inspiration for those who dare to challenge the status quo and forge their own path free from the constraints of a predetermined destiny. Her return is a call to individual and collective freedom, resonating in every woman who seeks her full autonomy and the recognition of her innate power. This complex tapestry of myths and meanings, Lilith's journey invites us to a deeper reflection. She is a mirror that challenges us to look beyond simplistic dichotomies of good and evil, angel and demon. Her saga, spanning millennia and cultures, proves that narratives can be resignified, adapted, and transformed to reflect the emerging truths of each era. What other mythical figure or ancestral legend awaits such a profound demystification? Your curiosity is the engine that drives us to explore the confines of knowledge and to illuminate the darkest corners of history and fantasy. If this journey through Lilith's life and legacy has awakened your passion to unravel the unknown, we invite you to join our community. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming dives into myths, stories, and the supernatural. Activate the bell to be notified about each new legend we unravel, and share your own perspectives in the comments below. Your engagement is vital for us to continue bringing content that satisfies your thirst for wisdom and imagination.